Hi everyone, this is Ashley Osuna, and here is my third grade science lesson plan. For my table of contents, I would like to start off with a discussion of what we already know, just to see what we have learned with our prior knowledge and how we can make connections with our future goals of this lesson. And then I would like to move into vocabulary cards, and vocabulary cards will just sum up some words that we're going to be using with our worksheets and task cards. As for task cards, they will be given to us individually, and then I would like to compare answers with partners as well as the class. Aside from task cards and vocabulary, we will be giving two worksheets. The first worksheet will be done alone, and the second worksheet will be more of an independent choice of an animal that the students are interested in diving deeper into its life cycle. And then we will end with a reflection as a class. As for the opening discussion of what we already know, the questions will follow with what kind of animals or plants are around us. This will allow us to make connections right off the bat of what life cycles are around us. Some examples could be birds, trees, flowers, as well as insects, or maybe even a class pet. And the following other opening discussion questions would be, do you have any siblings? Here we could see examples of life cycles of actual human beings that are right in front of them. And as well as, do you have any pets or animals? Any pets or plants, and these are various other, hopefully, discussion questions that they can make connections to. For vocabulary, we would start off with important words, preferably on a word wall as well, as I'm a big visual learner and visual learners are more of the common learning style, so I would like to have lots of visuals incorporated into my classroom. And we would go over words and discuss which are familiar words as well as which words are a bit challenging right off the bat. And then we would dive deeper into task cards. Here is one example of a task card that I have, which is kind of picking at the life cycles as well as some multiple choice. Again, diving deep into visuals, having them explain their thought processes, as well as making connections with what kind of various life forms are within the lesson. That includes amphibians, insects, land animals, all that. As for the vocabulary and task cards, I incorporated a link into the Google Classroom presentation, and then we would preferably, like I said, work individually and then compare answers with partners, and then discuss as a class to see which areas are a bit foggy still and which areas we're confident in. For worksheet number 1, it's a simple worksheet that is titled Born Alive or from an egg. And these pictures are just to kind of sort and pick apart which animals are born from an egg, which ones are perhaps born in the water, which perhaps are born from, for example, the frog and Tide Pod. I would more or less have them explain orally how these animals are formed or born. And for worksheet number 2, I would have the students pick the life cycle of an animal and have them explain in 4 boxes. It can be a difficult task as some animals have more broad life cycle, but I would like to sum it up in 4 boxes just to keep it concise, and then see if their ideas can be kind of summed up into one whole box, or if we can possibly add another box. And as a reflection, I would have, what questions do you still have? This can let me know which areas are still a bit confusing and I can have one-on-one conversations with. And what connections did you make? This would be a very important question, as connections are important to me because it just helps students retain information better as they made connections personally, and it's more a way for them to remember information in a way that only they can. And that concludes my presentation.